add a little bit addressing Mr. Tirado. County staff, including the sheriff's office, did search for Mr. Tirado. We were unable to find him. He never came forward to contact any county staff. Nor was the county presented with any lease agreement for him to use that portion of the property. Additionally, one thing I didn't point out in the staff report, but is available via the pictures and noticed in the reports from our staff, is that the cultivation methods in the unpermitted grow were identical to the ones in the permitted grow. They were similar in the way they were planted, in the way they were aligned, in the way water lines were set up, in the way they were named and identified. So staff did notice a striking number of similarities between the two cultivation sites.
And are you saying that the sheriff's observations and report would confirm whether that cord was used for that purpose or not?
I would be happy to check or request a report from them. Additionally, I just want to reiterate that we were not allowed access to that portion of the site prior to the second day. So it was after we requested, and then the next day when law enforcement demanded access, that access was given to that fenced-off area.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Brian Castro. I'm representing Gossett Alarm. We take care of the property from when Frank had it. As Rancho de la Fuente, we've had multiple parties out there, Halloween parties. And I've known Justin and Melissa and Michael, worked with Michael in the beginning, doing the camera systems, alarms in all the buildings, meeting the needs of all your guys' requirements to do what they're doing. And I've never once noticed anything illegal or wrongdoing, or I've been out to the property quite a bit, and I've never noticed the section in the back. I do my area up front, have the cameras there, and then the other couple areas, but I've never noticed anything. And just wanted to say they're pretty good people. I've had a great relationship with them through the coronavirus. They kept me busy, so thank you very much, and have a great day.
If I might add one more piece, please. The notification through the mail is sent to the records that the county has on the tax rolls. So the P.O. box for Mr. Estrada in Santa Rosa is where his annual tax bill would be mailed.
And just to kind of echo that, the mailing address versus, I'm sure the George Street might be a physical address where he might live now, but gets his bills mailed to the address that we have.
We mail it to the address that the county has.
The assessor records.
Yeah.
Could you just repeat that address for me? Because I want to make sure I heard it correctly, because I asked him if he uses that address and he had said no.
1275 4th Street, Box 139, Santa Rosa 95404.
That the county
Okay,
has.
I'll ask again.
Can I say one more thing that I didn't get in my first 3 minutes? It won't be long.
Is there anyone else that
If
wants to
it's-
talk first?
If it's quick,
It's quick.
we want to make sure that we give everybody their 3 minutes.
Yeah, my name is Frank Perez, and I wanted to mention that I personally seen checks that they spent to the county in taxes and to the state. It's an astronomical number. What they paid me when they were leasing from me before they purchased the property was very, a lot of money involved. Plus, with their infrastructure, they spent a lot of money. So it doesn't make sense to me. And I know that there's a mistrust here because it seems like, sometimes things don't always come out the way they are. You're not going to risk all this money, over $3-4 million, for a lousy 3,000 plants in the back that the county is coming out to inspect. It just don't make no sense. Thank you.
Does anybody else wish to speak? I don't see any more hands in the chambers. Can we check the Zoom room, please?
There's one participant in the Zoom room, Valerie Pang. You are now allowed to speak. Please state your name and you have 3 minutes.
Good morning, Commission.
Good morning, we can
Morning.
hear you.
Okay. I'm Valerie Pang, the owner and CEO of High Grade Supply Co. and Spring Valley Ranch. A little bit of our background. High Grade Supply Co. is one of the larger distributions in the area, and we currently have another distribution in Sonoma and now down south in Orange County. We are a multi-county operator now, and I was in talks with, I actually met Legendary Farms through another well-renowned business owner that doesn't own a cannabis business. I met them about 6 months ago and was interested in the venue, having our wine tasting event and terpene infused truffle event with our private chef in Napa at this space. As I got to know Melissa and Legendary Farms, we had discussions about a supply contract possibly in the future. And I thought it would be really, really good to go into a supply contract. We have a few contracts in Lake County, 12 to be exact, with 12 different cultivations. I would have liked to have been able to discuss it more. However, they informed me that their license may be revoked in some way due to some compliance things with the community development department. I met with them and our legal and our compliance officer, Tim Moreland, who worked at the DCC for 3 years and now is our head of compliance here. And it seemed like they were able to overcome all the compliance things pretty quickly. The owner was, as soon as he was informed, he was able to overcome the compliance things. The tax revenue that my business would have created with the supply partnership with Legendary Farms is pretty significant for Lake County, and it's significant revenue for my business as well, and their business. So the tax part, I think we would be missing out on those taxes. We would be decreasing taxes of future supply contracts in multiple years to come. Also, this family has the opportunity to vertically integrate. They have a portfolio of licenses. And the task force regulation in the community development department that's their number one mission, is to support vertical integration in Lake County. So there would be even more tax revenue if they had their cultivation up and running for multiple years to come. Also dispensary distribution and things like that. So from an economic strategy and economic perspective, allowing, I think revocation, I wouldn't recommend at all. I think some type of just making sure that they're compliant and giving them some support in that area, I think would be great. The indoor cultivation, in my opinion, looks super old. Those lights look super old. That may have been some old legacy thing. And like somebody else had said, that electrical is not going to support that old looking, looks like lights from 2016 or 17 or something, so maybe somebody's eligible for a social equity application, who knows? But also I know that Upper Lake High School also had their prom at their...
Hi, Valerie. We reached our time. If you wanted to wrap up your comment.
Okay, Upper Lake High School also had their prom at their location. They are providing the Office of Education free space and things like that. And it's just, I would like to see their cultivation really be able to develop. And I would like to work with Melissa on a supply contract and bring that revenue to my company, to her company, and also the county. Thank you for your time today, Commission.
Thank you. Seeing as there are no more hands in the Zoom room, are there anybody else in the chambers wishes to speak before we close public comment? Seeing no hands, I'm closing public comment and bringing it back to the commission for action or discussion.
Well, my head's going around a few different things. There was violations, plain as day, but nobody is willing to take any type of responsibility or responsibility for it. And to me, it just really doesn't set a good example for a commercial. We sat up here as a commission and said, Legendary Farms, great job. Here you go. You got our blessing. Go ahead and do your permitted grow and everything else. And then to come to find out we're sitting here again with the same applicant, you know, and nobody, there's violations that have been done. Whoever is responsible needs to be held accountable. And we just have to really take this seriously. I think this is more than just a slap on the hand and do better. I need a little, I need a little bit of time to kind of wrap my head around how I want to go about, laying down the responsible parties and how to move forward on that. But it makes me feel some kind of way to sit up here and really vouch for good applicants and good actors, and then to have it come back to this is just disappointing.
I would echo my colleagues' comments and say that it seems remarkable to me that once you're looking into the abyss, suddenly nobody knows anything. Never saw it, can't see it from that location when we're at the permitted site. The one guy that might know something has absconded. I don't know if Ms. Smith is here today, but she hasn't spoken in her own defense. It seems inconceivable to me that the person with the actual permit to grow legally would not be aware of that grow in the southeastern corner of the property. I can't get beyond that point. And that doesn't mean that the county perhaps has cast too wide a net, and all of you feel ensnared in that. But nobody has satisfactorily addressed the issue of how the hell did those hoop houses get there? How long have they been there? How is it that nobody knows anything about it?
And just to kind of echo that, it wasn't just a small violation. We're talking 3,000 plants. Were they small? I'm not sure. I wasn't there. That's irrelevant. It is the that nobody wants to take responsibility. And to have good community leaders, and to hear the name like Rancho de la Fuente and the good things that had been brought when that was a successful farming stand, and the things that you did for the community, I would think that instead of sticking your neck out again for somebody to try to do business properly and keep your name and everything clean, to stick your neck out again and hope that everything goes well is just, I don't see that being a very good solution.
I guess the way I'm seeing, try to look at the bigger picture of what's going on. Obviously, there's a violation that needs to be taken care of. So I guess I'm just looking for some kind of guidance in what the county is going to be doing, because I can understand why there's consultants and people here that are saying like, oh, I had nothing to do with it, which is whoever's running the operation, the person that's there hands-on. I mean, they're the ones that know everything. They're the ones that are there doing it. They're the ones that built the houses, that did the work for this unpermitted site. But at the same time, like, I'm surprised that nobody that's worked. It takes a lot of people to run an operation like this, and to say that nobody knows, anything of what's going on. So, I guess just we always have to approach this, obviously, in a legal way, and how we're going to address the parties that were involved, because it's complicated. It's a lot of people out here that work for this company, but we just have to find out what actually happened before we move forward. So.
And as Commissioner Hess said, you might feel like we casted a large net, and we casted a huge net. And anybody who has been named in this violation, that's not on us as a commission to decipher. As of right now, what is named and what is in front of us is there's a violation, and we'd like to revoke the operations permit, the major use permit. That is what we are up here to discuss. and not to sit here and sift through and see who's left over as the guilty party. As of right now, it is a group that is being identified. And what is in front of us is, were there violations, and were those violations enough to revoke their permit, period. And then once this goes to the Board of Supervisors, however they decide to move forward and go with that, then that is on them. But what is before us today is the revocation of the permit. Commissioner Brown?
Yeah, I just like to add, I'm always trying to think big picture, look for solutions, find ways to not always punish, but try to get into compliance. And the thing that stands out with me is again, the lack of accountability, the people stepping forward who are named, other than one, saying, this is my part, taking responsibility. And so for me, that doesn't show a lot of, that doesn't give me a lot of faith in things can move forward if we were to say that we look at alternatives to this issue. So for myself, I have to consider what's in front of us. I have to look at what's here, what's on paper, what information I have, and move forward with that. I think that part of taking ownership and responsibility shows character and says that I can be worked with. We can work together. And the fact that that didn't happen plays a big part in the way I look at this. And so those are just the comments I'm going to add, and I'm in agreement with my colleagues that we have to do what's right by the code and stick within that. So thank you.
Yeah, sorry.
And before I make a motion, just to put it out to everyone who made the time to come here today to say your piece and to, give us the information that you wanted to put forward. This isn't the end of everything. This is coming to us first, and you guys will have another opportunity, I'm sure, to go ahead and say your piece. But as of right now, I'm prepared to make a motion.
May I just ask one question of council?
Yeah,
And I appreciate
absolutely.
your willingness to do that motion.